I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through a motorcycle that could be an ideal first bike. Now, with the motorcycle industry, unfortunately, there seems to be less and less people getting into riding, and I hope this video is going to help give a bit of inspiration and ideas, fuel for thought on how we can encourage more people to swing their legs over a motorcycle. So I'm here in South Wales. Believe it or not, it is sunny in Wales too, I will tell you. I'm at Woodrow's Bike Cafe, which is well worth putting on your map if you're going out for a ride. They do super yummy paninis, lovely coffees. They're hot chocolate. You might have to do a little bit of a workout to compensate, but I have heard very, very good things about the mound of marshmallows. Anyway, we're not here to talk about marshmallows. We're here to talk about the AJS motorcycle, and more importantly, how we can try and get more people swinging their leg over a motorbike. Now, I often find that there is a little bit of maybe an ego in the industry where you have to have a big, powerful bike, and if you're going to ride a motorbike, it's got to be a beast and you've got to be able to go really fast. And honestly, that's absolute nonsense. It does not matter what you're riding. It doesn't matter what you start on, what you aim to progress to, even if you want to stay on a 125 permanently and not even do your full license. It's irrelevant. The key thing is that you are having a good time, you're smiling, and you're getting out there, having a little bit of wind in the hair, adventure, going to places that you maybe wouldn't go if you didn't have a motorbike. And we all know that motorcycles are really good for our mental health. They get us out there, and when you're riding a bike, somehow you can process life so much more easily. Now, AJS is a company that was founded back in 1909, which makes me feel quite young, so I'm going to go with that. And they have just launched a new motorcycle, which is behind me, and believe it or not, this is actually a 125 motorcycle. So this is a bike that you can ride on just a CBT, which is your compulsory basic training. You could start riding this, I believe, as young as like 17. You don't have to have your full bike license. And look at it. I'm sorry, but most learner L-plate bikes don't look that cool. I'm a little bit blown away. You can drive down the street and people will actually like turn their heads. It looks really cool, and it doesn't sound like a hairdryer, so there's a whole load of pluses straight away. So this is a motorcycle that I've had the pleasure of being able to ride today. We've done a few hours around South Wales, we've even gone down to the beach, and I can tell you that from my experience riding it today, it's well worth looking into if you're looking to get your first motorcycle. And who says it has to be your first and your first motorcycle based on the fact that you're going to get another one? You don't have to upgrade and go to bigger and faster, most amazing bikes, because this bike looks pretty cool and could just be exactly what you're after. Colour-wise, you have the beautiful black steed here. You've also got the beauties that are behind me. So it comes in a big shiny red and a blue. And a quick other thing to add in here is I want to say thank you to BikeShore for supporting me with my channel and my content. It takes a lot of time and energy to do what I do. BikeShore are very good at dealing with specialty vehicles as far as motorcycles. The more unique, the more custom it is, the more likely they will be able to help you out. The best thing to do is give them a call, speak to them, and they'll be able to give you the best price for your motorcycle or motorcycles if you're clever enough to have more than one in your garage, because they all do different things, right? Sorry, not sorry for being a bad influence. So BikeShore, I'll put the link in the comments. You can check them out, and thank you BikeShore for supporting me with this video. So back to the bike. So let's talk through this motorcycle, and I'm going to share some of the key things that I think are worth considering and thinking about if this is a bike on your option list for you to get into motorcycles. I think the first thing to really say is the confidence that this bike inspires. I genuinely think my mum would be able to get on this bike and have a go. And my mum is batshit crazy. I think I just said the word I shouldn't say. She's just crazy. And Mum, sorry, I know you're watching this. I love you for the fact that you're crazy, because it's probably why I'm like I am. But this bike inspires confidence. And as a 70-plus-year-old, I think she could get on this and ride it. And I think confidence is a really important thing when we're trying to get into motorcycles. Now, this is a small engine. So it is a 1-cylinder, 4-stroke overhead cam engine. We're not going to start talking about how many ponies are in there. It's a 125. We know this is designed to be a very controllable, manageable and safe level of power to get you out on the road. So this throttle is there, but it's not lively like a rocket. You're very unlikely to suddenly end up in a wheelie in a hedge or anything dramatic, but you are going to be able to nip around town and easily, you know, do some filtering and have a good time. Comfort-wise, we've got a big squidgy seat. You can see it here. It does have a double seat, so that gives you a bit of practical versatility. You've got the rear pegs. And as far as your riding position, I'll swing my leg over and show you. It's got a really nice upright position. Really good if you're thinking about being on the road, building your confidence, because often you get little leaning over bikes and it can be quite intimidating seeing things and shuffling around. It's got a very nice, easy position, good open leg position. It's worth noting that the max weight that you probably want to put on this bike is about 150 kilos, so there's lots of scope for most of us to be able to ride it. When we look at the handlebars and the view ahead of us, it's a very clean setup. You've got your key and a small dial, which just makes reading it as you're going along quite simple. Sometimes modern bikes can have an electric world of dash, which can be quite distracting as a rider. It's got an electric start, which is very easy. You can just hit the button and it's going to start. But it does also have a kick, which I think is a little bit maybe less usual and sometimes on our modern bikes, but I think going with the heritage and the style that AJS are going with this bike, it kind of fits quite nicely. Being a 125, it's very easy to turn over. There's not a huge amount of compression in there, so I think most people will manage to kick it. Should they have any issues with the electrics, you've got that backup. So suspension on this bike, with everything that I'm telling you, it's probably worth jumping to the price tag of this bike. This bike is possibly one of the most affordable bikes I have seen out there that looks this good. It is going to set you back about $2,500 plus a couple of road registration fees or something. So you're talking a little chunk of change in relation to the cost of some motorcycles. Now with that, you're getting a lot of bike for your money. You're getting a bike that looks pretty good and is going to give you that ability to ride a bike and go on adventure. But with that, you're also going to bear in mind that for $2,500, you're not going to be expecting the same build quality, materials, finish, etc. that you'd get on a bike that costs 4 or 5 times its amount. So the suspension on this bike is perfectly adequate for this bike, what this bike is designed for, and the sort of riding that you're probably going to do on this sort of bike is around town. You hit a pretty nasty pothole, you're going to brace a little bit, and it actually is a little bit more forgiving than I expected. Manhole covers, doesn't really mind those, it just cruises over. It's got quite a forgiving, comfortable suspension for what you'd expect. Seat height's really important, considering I'm sat on it. Let's do that now. So side stand up. I'm 62 kilos, so the suspension is moving a little bit, and I am 169 centimeters tall. I feel like I could nearly get my knee down. It's that low. This is a very, very low intimidation factor bike. It's narrow and it's 780 millimeter seat height, which is so accessible. So if you're slightly shorter, if you're feeling that you're not strong enough to have a bigger bike, this is a lovely option for you. Just put it back on the side stand. It's got a rack at the back, which I think is helpful if you wanted to strap your bag on, say you were wanting to commute. Top speed of this bike, whew, it's not that fast, but it's a 125, so what it's designed for is perfectly adequate. It will go to about 60 miles an hour. I was cruising on it down a dual carriageway just now, and we got to about 58, and I was thinking, I'm going to be redlining it, but it wasn't. It was completely happy. It was just chilling along at 58. It didn't sound like it was going to blow up or anything, and it just cruised really, really nicely. So I was pleased with that. It comes with some road rubber. It's not a big named tyre brand that I could spot. What are they? Street Shark. I like that name. There you go, Street Shark rubber. Probably worth mention, actually, the Bilston actual name of the bike. Probably should have said that right at the beginning of the video. So this is the Bilston by AJS. What I quite like about it is that Bilston is the name of a steelworks that used to function in the area where AJS used to be, which is in Warwickshire. Wolverhampton! So, which is in Wolverhampton. And so because they realised that a lot of the steelworks that made some of the original bikes probably came from that factory, they've named this new model after it. And I just really like it when brands acknowledge their heritage and there's like some kind of personal connection. If you think about all the people that used to work at that steelworks, and it's just a nice feeling, really. What else do you want to know about this bike? So we've done, oh, weight. Weight is always a good one because at some point or other, we're all going to drop our motorcycle. It happens. It's part of having a bike that doesn't even stand up on its own. Motorbikes are a bit silly when it comes to that, but perfect. That's what makes them so fun. So it is 132 kilos. I'm just going to demonstrate quite how light 132 kilos is for a motorcycle. I can just pick it straight up. So you drop that. I think most people will be able to pick that up pretty easily. I'm going to show you how easy it is to lower. I'm not going to put it on the ground because it's a lovely new bike, but that is a very manageable weight at 132 kilos. Something that's quite nice, while I just tilted it, you will see there is a nice big sump on the bottom. Just gives you a little bit of extra protection. It's got a nice exhaust. Obviously it's not sporty sounding, but it's not designed to be a monster. This is a really accessible bike that could be the ideal first bike for you, for someone you know, for your other half, if you're trying to get them riding. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments. We are going to be heading out again this afternoon and doing a little bit more of a play around South Wales. It's a beautiful sunny day, so I'm going to make the most of it. Please do hit subscribe if you enjoy my channel, and let me know if there are any motorcycles that you'd really like me to have a ride on and give you an opinion about, because I'm always up for ideas and hearing what you'd like me to do more of. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike. Thanks so much for watching.